But I see the chat. Kenneth Matthews says, y'all slappies. I
have a reason to be a slappy.
I haven't been accused of that for about 2 years now.
Right. Have you watched the post-game shows, people?
Yeah, for real.
Right.
For real.
I'll be a slappy.
Y'all are fake. I'm born and raised in Detroit. I'm real and honest, not a slappy.
Okay.
I love my Lions, but I'm realistic. I guess my question is there an area we are missing here?
Yeah.
What are we missing?
I got yelled at by Maz for this. This is the Detroit Lions, the most maligned franchise in football history. Okay. So injuries could happen, but the Lions could happen. Now, I truly believe that this is BNL. These are the brand new Lions. Everything from top to bottom, the culture, the play, screams a team that we've never known here, and we love it. But there's still a curse of Bobby Lane that lingers in this city, and to me, that is the only thing that scares me. And I'm speaking to whoever it is that's calling himself a non-slappy. You got to be hearing what I'm saying. We know how we can be let down. We've ridden high. We've been there with Barry Sanders to the NFC Championship game, and we saw what happened to that team the year later, So I'm hoping that, nobody has a spinal cord injury and nobody gets hit by a semi planting flowers.
Clearly.
But this is still the Lions, okay?
And listen, I get all that. All I can do is look at what I see on the field.
Yes.
That's the only thing I can see. And are you better this year than you were a year ago? I do think Jared Goff is going to be a better quarterback this year than he was last year. Jared Goff is just entering the prime of his career.
I agree.
He is just entering the prime of his career. There is no reason to believe that there is a decline for Jared Goff. So I believe he's better. If you look at the running back position, David Montgomery, as you mentioned, Anson, healthy this year.
Yeah.
And Jahmyr Gibbs, just by rule, okay? I believe you are better in your second year of doing something than your first year of doing something. Like, just as a general rule of thumb, I am a better radio host or YouTube host or digital host in year 2 than I was in year 1.
Facts.
Just by the fact that I've done it more. Now, you may still think I suck, and that's fine. But I suck less in year 2 than I sucked in year 1.
And you're more confident doing it.
Absolutely. And I'm more confident sitting behind the microphone. So that aside, okay, so you got the running backs. Jamison Williams. Amon-Ra is Amon-Ra. Guy's a top 5 guy in the NFL as far as I'm concerned. And he's certainly paid like it.
Yep.
The question is J-Mo there? Can J-Mo be there? This is the first year since Jamison Williams has been a Detroit Lion that he has been able to participate in the entirety of the offseason program.
Yeah, it's going to make all the difference in the world for him.
It's the first year.
Yep.
Okay? So I do think that is part of it. He has been in big games. He has been in big spots. He has made big catches, and now he can build on that. I am taking a leap thinking that Jamison Williams is absolutely going to take that next step for this football team. So if you put J-Mo and Amon-Ra and Khalif Raymond, by the way, I think J-Mo and Amon-Ra are better than Amon-Ra and Josh Reynolds.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay? It's just, that's where I'm going. I think Sam Laporta is going to be better in year 2 of doing something than in year 1. And then the offensive line, look, Penei Sewell is not even in the prime of his life yet.
Yep.
Monster.
Hasn't even scratched the surface. Kevin Zeitler is a top 5 guard in the NFL.
Facts.
Frank Ragnow is a Hall of Famer.
Could be.
Potentially.
Yep.
Especially if he gets a ring this year.
And Taylor Decker is just a beast. So, and Graham Glasgow is as versatile as anybody in the league, can play 3 positions on any given day in any game. So I think the offensive line is better. So based on that reasoning, I guess I just don't see how that's not feasible to somebody out there.
Yeah. I mean, listen, somebody said in the chat, the rest of this division has gotten better. We are arguably in the best division in football. I think it's the AFC and the NFC North in both conferences. But we certainly have. We haven't even touched on the defense yet. But every single facet of the game, and we can skip right over special teams because we got better at special teams too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We definitely did. I got to address Wilson number one, though. I was born in the 70s, bro. I do not hate on people. The last thing that I hate on is anything in this city. I'm one of the most patriotic Detroiters you will ever meet. And when it comes to our teams, I bleed Honolulu blue, red, white, and blue, orange and blue. Yeah. I even bleed red and white.
Look at that.
When they make the playoffs, at least. But I can't anoint this team like a bunch of people did around this city and at this network after one win last year. I cannot anoint this team when they haven't done something that I've never seen before, because I've seen an NFC championship game 2 times now. I want this team to succeed. I want everybody in Detroit to realize this isn't hockey town. This is football town, okay?
Yeah.
But I'm going to be responsible to my opinion and to what I see with the Lions. The Lions could falter, but they still are so good and their culture is so strong that even a 4-4 start will not preclude this team from a deep playoff run, period.
But that's why I'm caught up on, and you my guy, Anson, but the SOL thing. The SOL thing died when this regime took over, because you want to know why? They have delivered on every single thing they have said up until this point. One, we have never seen that. But if you want to take it down to the field and get granular, SOL died the night they were in Green Bay with nothing to play for, and they won that game.
That's a fact.
I'm telling you, like they are a completely different organization. You just said if they're 4-4, they are a good enough team to overcome that and still get to the goals that they are trying to meet. That tells me that SOL has been dead. This is a totally different. When have we ever been able to say the Lions are in a Super Bowl window legitimately?
You didn't hear me say those 3 letters, though, did you?
I get it.
I think you've said them 6 times today.
But you've hinted at it, though. You've hinted that they could go back to that, and I just don't see that. Even if they have a misstep, even if they have a misstep, they can overcome just based on the people in charge and the players that they have put on the field. That SOL thing is never coming back.
I happily and wholeheartedly agree.
All right.
Shall we go through the defense?
Yes,
yeah,
please, sir.
Please.
Okay. Defensive end. The defensive end position. Better or worse than a year ago?
Well, I mean, you look at a lot of the guys, we're going to have a healthy edge rusher in Houston.
Yep.
I think Zach Pascal actually took that step towards the end of last season.
Josh.
What's that?
Josh Pascal.
Did I say Zach?
Yeah, I would have called him Zach
that's the
too.
receiver, right?
Listen,
that's the receiver.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so Josh, I think, took that step. They didn't really add too much to the defensive end specifically.
Yep, defensive end position.
I think that they are better because they have players that have been in the system longer and are starting to hit that level of development that they want to see them do. But what you're about to go to next is the reason why the defensive ends are better as well.
Yeah.
First of all, defensive end. Better or worse than a year ago?
I would say better, especially on paper. Now, Marcus Davenport, he's a good addition.
Is he healthy or is he not healthy?
Exactly. He's a good addition, but we don't know about his health. But you are getting a healthy James Houston back, hopefully. We do still have Josh Pascal. He's returning healthy, hopefully. And also Mekhi Wingo, who they drafted in the 5th round.
Him.
They are playing him at the edge as well as inside.
Interesting.
Yes. So he is somebody that I think Lions fans need to look out for as well. He'll probably get some snaps on that outside. And if we believe the hype in what's his name, Matthew Betts, then maybe he gets in and he contributes. But I would say better.
And don't forget, a year 3, Aiden Hutchinson is probably better than a
sack
year 2,
Aiden Hutchinson.
right?
Yes.
So
especially with a DJ Reader in the middle.
Speaking of DJ Reader,
there's the segue.
The defensive line. Better or worse than a year ago?
Oh, man. Nice. I mean, this is one of the maybe top 3, but certainly top 5 interior defensive linemen in the league. And as I was just mentioning while we were talking about the ends, what he's going to do with his disruptive style of play is just going to make our edges that much better. And we're not even talking about what kind of extra time our secondary is going to provide because, again, how many times did we see Hutch this close?
Yeah.
And, that's part of it. It's hand in hand, too. I mean, DJ Reader or Lee McNeil, do you think they're going to be able to help out Aiden Hutchinson a little bit this year?
Yes, sir.
You know what I
Man.
mean? Come on. So that whole thing, DL. Now, this one could be a little tricky. Okay?
All right.
I'm breaking your rules on this one.
Okay. Legitimate conversation. Is the linebacker position better or worse than a year ago?
I would say that it is the same, although Broderick's looking like a monster right now. Broderick?
Broderick Martin, but he's on
With
the
a B,
D-line.
right?
Yeah,
Yep.
he's a D tackle though.
Okay. I've never known exactly what player he is.
Yeah,
I
right.
swear, to be honest
We
with you.
haven't seen him.
Look
I don't
at him.
blame
We
you.
haven't seen him, right?
Because our defensive line is better, that should open up holes for our linebacker core. But at the end of the day, I think that Jack Campbell takes a jump. And by that, if he makes that jump, they're better.
Yeah.
So, Kenny,
No.
if I may, just
yeah,
real
go
quick.
ahead. Go ahead.
That is the answer to this question. Are they better or are they worse? Does Jack Campbell take that next step?
I
And
think
if you
so.
believe the answer is yes, and I believe the answer is yes.
Yes.
I believe Jack Campbell is going to take a huge step forward this year. So because of that reason alone, I say this unit is better than they were a year ago.
Absolutely. And for that point, and Alex Anzalone, let's not forget he had a breakout season last year. I expect him to be just as much of a force at that linebacker spot as he was last year, man, being a leader on that defense. And if you want to say Derek Barnes, at least he's very good in the run game. We do know that to be a fact. He also made one of the most important plays in Lions history this last postseason. So I would say better. Absolutely.
All right. So now we move to the final two positions. We'll start at corner. One of the most improved points of emphasis on this defense in terms of the offseason goes. Are they better than a year ago or worse than a year ago at cornerback, Anson?
So this is shocking to me. I just found this right before we started the show, so we don't have a chance to put it up on the screen for you. But PFF put up something on Twitter that says, "What team has the best cornerback duo in the NFL?" They have the Dolphins, the Browns, the Jets, the Seahawks, the Cowgirls, and the Eagles, and the Lions.
Wow.
So this is a position of absolute weakness that was exposed time after time by great wide receivers last year, and now it's a position of strength. So hands down, we are better at the corner position.
Just look at this, Kenny.
Yep.
Terrian Arnold, Ennis Rakestraw, the two draft picks.
Yep.
Then you've got Carlton Davis III and Amik Robertson, the two acquisitions. Then you've got the re-signing of Emmanuel Mosley and Kendall Vildor.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I mentioned the other day, if you could be four of those 9 guys, you tell me for the 7, I guess it is,
Yeah.
you feel pretty good about it. You've got all 7 there on your team.
Absolutely. Carlton Davis, although he had a bad year last year, he has been a top 15 corner in this league.
Yeah, he's got a track record.
You can easily say that. When you look at Amik Robertson, somebody who played himself into a starting position in the last 2 years, has played 17 games. The reliability alone makes him an upgrade. The draft picks, of course. And Emmanuel Mosley coming back, God willing, if his health holds up, he should be a factor. And then I will even add Deshae Townsend being a new coach in this secondary room. I think the Deshae Townsend pickup is something that hasn't been talked about enough. We talk about Terrell Williams a lot, but Deshae Townsend is a really good defensive backs coach, and I think he'll be able to do more than what Dre Bly was able to do, especially with all this talent. So absolutely an upgrade.
Incredible stuff. And now the final position, safety. We've got Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph, Ifatu Melifonwu, CJ Moore, Brandon Joseph turned a lot of heads this week at minicamp. Are they better or worse than a year ago at safety?
Absolutely better. We're deeper. Sione Vaki is going to allow them to do whatever they want with Brian Branch.
Yep.
That whole secondary it's a gift to everybody here in Detroit, because the frustration that we had in games having to outscore people most weeks, it's not going to be that way.
Absolutely. The safety room is definitely better just because Brian Branch alone, he was great in year 1. I expect him to take a big leap in year 2. You look at Kirby Joseph, he's the ball hawk of this Lions secondary. He should be able to get his hands on a lot of interceptions this year. And Ife Melifonwu, although it took him a while to get to where he was at, the way they utilize him when blitzing and things of that nature, he's going to be a force, man. He's a great tackler on top of that. It's an upgrade.
He had a half season as an all-star.
Absolutely.
No doubt.
Absolutely.